Hello, Vassilis. It's great
Hello.
to have you here today for this mini interview.
Hello, Stella. Glad to be here.
It's a great opportunity for us to know you better and for the audience to get a bit of insights for your upcoming talk at Open Conf stage on 22 and 23rd of November this year.
Yep.
So let's get started with knowing a bit of your own background and how you ended up here today.
Okay. I am currently working at Epignosis as an engineering director. Our biggest success is Talent LMS, an award-winning cloud-based learning management system. I have been working with this company for the past 3 years, and I'm very glad to be there. Now, in terms of background, I didn't do a lot of job swaps. I stayed mostly in like 5 main jobs that I went from one to another. And actually, I really like security, which is partly my job, partially a hobby of mine. I became interested in security during my university when I was studying computer science. There, I actually really enjoyed applied cryptography. It took me by surprise. And then I continue on with non-security related work and security related work. But again, it's a love of mine. I really like it. And when I have the time, I just play around and like to learn new stuff.
That sounds very interesting indeed. Sounds like you have seen a lot of different things along your career. And I would like to ask you, what keeps you motivated to keep learning and keep changing in a fast-paced industry like tech industry and security?
Okay, motivation for me comes from both an internal drive and, of course, from external resources. For example, I can be motivated to solve a complex problem while also receiving external recognition for my work. For example, a colleague of mine or my manager saying that I'm doing great. But the most interesting things happen when this internal and external motivation gets aligned. For example, I really like a problem and I want to solve it for myself, but also this problem has a potential market, which means I can become an entrepreneur and start my own startup. Or I want to master a sector that will also benefit the organization that I work on. So personally, I feel I had opportunities both in my day-to-day work and also in my spare time where those two motivations, internal and external, aligned. So learning and striving for excellence never felt like a burden, but more like a fulfilling activity. So going back to your question, for me, it is up to you to find your purpose, what internally motivates you and gets you started to work. But you are not alone. Of course, your colleagues, the people around you, can help you by providing external motivation and cultivating your internal motivation. So a positive feedback loop, for example. But this does not also apply at work. This also can become relevant to other parts of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, for the fast-paced industry that we are, I think we need to be open and adaptive because changes are headed our way. We cannot do anything about that.
Sure.
But besides being adaptive, my second suggestion will be to understand the fundamentals of your industry. For example, if you are a people's manager, you need to understand people dynamics. If you're a developer, you may need to understand the bits and the wires. So if you do that, that will never make you relevant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like you live in a thriving environment. You have a lot of people and ideas around you that help you keep learning and keep cultivating your skills and be up to date. So it looks like it takes a lot of time for you during the day, your work life. So is it easy for you to balance personal and work life?
Yeah.
Does it matter for you to keep them in balance?
Yep. Well, as I said, I was not only working on my day-to-day job, but I really loved doing extra projects on my spare time. While I try to remain consistent, like start-stop times for my day-to-day work, on the afternoons, my passions took me through the night sometimes, so it was a bit challenging. But again, this is not viable on the long run. You will get burned. And of course, as I grow, my priorities changed. For example, I moved from single being to being a part of a family. So what I do mostly now is I try to maintain a work-life balance, or better yet, include my family on the things that I love.
Yeah, that sounds a lot of challenging. Actually, it depends of if your family has the same interests as you do.
For example, we are now developing a mobile app with my daughter.
Wow, that sounds really amazing for your daughter,
And for
especially.
me.
Okay, that sounds interesting indeed. Okay, there's been a lot of talk about AI nowadays, and I feel like this has influenced everything around us. How do you see that AI influences your field?
Okay. Well, AI is influencing everything about software development, but everything in life. But again, for software development, we can see it changing our day-to-day lives, and this is going on to grow. I don't see this stopping. However, we must always remember that AI is a tool. I think at present, again, we will not be replaced by an AI. Now, especially in the field of security, I think it can help us design better protocols. It can help us build better algorithms, but at the same time, this can also harm. For example, if an adversary uses this to break our new protocols or our new cryptography algorithms. What I find most interesting is not the applied cryptography, but the mathematicals behind it. So, for example, in computational complexity, it's always in the back of my mind if AI will be able to give us the answer on P versus NP problem. And fun fact, in the current International Mathematics Olympiad, alpha geometry and alpha proof, it happened like, I think, a month ago, will have won a silver medal. And this is from Google DeepMind that they are developing this, and they can solve math and geometry problems with proof, I mean.
Let's see how this goes in the near future. There are a lot of newcomers in the tech industry that mainly don't know where to start, and there's a lot of people in our audience interested in taking up a career in tech. What would your advice be to them?
I think we also mentioned this earlier about fast-paced technology, the space that we work on. But I believe if you go to the fundamentals, you will never be obsolete. For example, you will want to build a strong foundation of your knowledge on the technology sector that you work on. Or it may be that security, maybe it's that networking or anything else. And you have to examine RFCs, deep dive in technical details, understanding best practices, and putting that in effect. Also, you need to stay updated. For example, experimenting with new tools, technologies, attending conferences or meetups. Okay, and of course, a big step to that is learning or contributing to open source projects. There are a lot of open source projects online that can be used as training material. And there is no better way to train yourself than opening a PR, getting reviewed by people, understanding a deep understanding of this project like it's your own, and then contributing back to this.
I totally agree with you. Fundamentals are so important in every field, and also staying connected and sharing. And this conversation is so important for everyone and for the community. Last but not least, I would like you to ask you to give us some insights for your upcoming talk. You chose to talk about user registration and authentication. So maybe you can give us some insights.
Yeah, of course. Well, it all started with my quest to understand how password managers work, and especially online password managers. If you are building an online password manager, you want to authenticate a user, but you don't want to receive his password or her password. The reason is that this password should stay on the user machine because it is used to derive the keys to decrypt all sensitive information. So how does a password manager solve this? It solves this by using a zero-knowledge proof protocol. In a sense, you prove to the other party, the server, that you know the password without revealing the password to them.
Mm-hmm.
But this leads to the question, if this kind of security is that good for password managers, then why don't we use it everywhere? Why do we still transmit passwords? I believe a big chunk of the applications being available now transmit password to the server and use something like password hashes to protect the password. But this should not be the case. We can benefit from solutions like this and apply it generally to all products. And the second big issue I was thinking about was, in general, when you do user registration, you want to rate limit this. But not only rate limit user registration, but limit all aspects of your API. So in my presentation, I also discuss about how proof of work, this is technology used in crypto coins, in order to rate limit an API based on risk factors without need to employ CAPTCHAs or any other solution like adding an infrastructure or something like that.
Okay, sounds pretty interesting. I will definitely be there to hear you. As you prepare for this day, what are your feelings? Are you excited? Are you nervous? A bit of both?
Both. Both excited and a bit nervous. Excited is because, first of all, you don't always get to present to a big conference like Open Conf. Secondly, because this topic is very dear and near to my heart, and I would like to share with the others what have I seen, and most importantly, why haven't I seen this been applied everywhere? And also, the nervous part comes because I want to be able to deliver this in a way that will benefit both junior people in the sector, but also be informative for medium people, for medium developers or with medium experience. Lastly, I also remind myself to enjoy the process.
That's for sure. That's our goal. Okay, so Vassilis, thank you so much. I really look forward to seeing you on stage. And I would also like to invite everyone to meet us on 22 and 23 of November at DICE Event Center this November. Thank you so much again.
Thank you very much, Stella.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.